Good morning. Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. We are sponsored by the Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island. Fieldstone offers innovative and compassionate care, and they are accepting residents. To learn more, call 360-689-4314. You can schedule a tour or learn about day, stay, and respite programs. 360-689-4314. Also, I would like to acknowledge that the Senior Community Center is on the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Suquamish tribe, the people of the clear salt water. We are grateful for their hospitality and we honor them. Today, we're going to talk about creativity. We're going to talk about Bainbridge Island as a creative place and that is now officially acknowledged. And Inez Mubane Jones is here to share with us a new designation that the Bainbridge Island has received. Thanks, Inez.
Thank you, Reed. Thank you for this opportunity. Good afternoon. Oh no, you see, I'm already way ahead of myself. It's already so hard, it feels like afternoon.
Well, exactly. It's warm enough, it must be.
It must be. Good morning, everyone. I'm really pleased to be here. I'm Inez Mubane Jones. As Reed said, I'm the Executive Director of Arts and Humanities Bainbridge. And Arts and Humanities Bainbridge led this push for Bainbridge to become a creative district, but we did not do it alone. We had extensive help from different partners that I'll share through the presentation, including the city and other parties. So this is truly a collaborative, collective effort for our city. So Reed, thank you. Awesome. So we'll go to the first slide after this. So Arts and Humanities Bainbridge is Bainbridge's cultural hub. And with that, the Creative District made sense. We got this really cute and very helpful question last Friday, which was, okay, what's this? You know, this picture was posted, this very picture was posted. And the question was like, well, what's this?
What is that sign there? What's that all about?
What does it mean? Why is it even there? And so if you've driven down 305, if you're coming from the bridge, you will see a sign that says Bainbridge Creative District 5 miles at Agate Road. And then again, High School Road, which is the bigger picture. And then if you're coming off the ferry to get onto Bainbridge Island, you'll see another sign, which I show in the next slide. Thank you, Reed. So this is what Blair King highlighted in his manager's report of October 22, 2021. October is when we officially got designated a creative district. So it happened last year, but we've only really launched it this year due to COVID and other restrictions that we had. So the thinking behind this and why this is really such a wonderful opportunity is that it recognizes Bainbridge Island as a creative community, therefore a creative economy. And Blair is very passionate about Florida, who I believe is a sociologist, who said that the next new economy is creativity. And that means that the communities that support the creative arts will be the most vibrant and significant. So this creative district, think about those words as I go through what this is all about. Vitality and of course creativity, but more than that, vibrancy. And what does vibrancy and vitality do for a community? So let's go to the next slide. We officially launched this district July 3rd during the street dance of the Celebrate Bainbridge weekend. And what you see, that beautiful ribbon that you see, we didn't cut the ribbon, we tied it together. And the significance of that was that we recognized that the creative district, which I'll obviously unpack it as we go, through this presentation, the creative district brings together the arts and business communities. And that's very significant because there's a recognition that part of the vitality and vibrancy that is the creative economy and creative community of Bainbridge Island is supported by this economic bedrock that's part of what makes Bainbridge Island a vital place to live, work, and visit. Next slide, please. So the idea is, as I said, this idea of bridging, right? So the arts is the vibrancy, the business is the economic development. So the mission of the Bainbridge Creative District is to promote and support our community, art, artists, and artistic venues on Bainbridge Island. And the goal is to be known as a thriving, diverse artistic community, which we already are. But what we want to do with this designation is to create resources that can monetize local art. That means really directly supporting artists in an intentional way. And then, of course, connecting Bainbridge artists and facilities. So you have an artist, where they're going to play, where they're going to get exposure, where they're going to show us what they really are about and can do. So making those connections for them, of course, showcasing our island's arts and inspiring and nurturing arts and creatives of all kinds. Because that word creative, people have come up to us and said, well, what do you mean by that? I'm creative. And my answer is, yes, you are. You know, it's almost like I like to think of creativity as your imagination come to life, your dreams come to life. You think something through, I wonder if this could work. You bring it to life and you figure out it does. And that's horticulture, that's culinary, that's of course dance and fine arts and everything else that we think of, but it's really your mental imagination come to life. So I would consider all of us as creatives, but this specifically looks to make sure that we are supporting our community, art, artistic venues, and of course our artists. So this beautiful logo that you see was designed by Alex Sanso, who is a business owner and an artist in our community. She is the owner of Island Life. If you come off the ferry, the ravine is there, she's right over there. The thinking behind this sort of what the Creative District is about, I included that little picture that we posted on social media, is those bubbles are, yeah, great, creative, that's nice. But what are you trying to accomplish on Bainbridge Island? And those are meant to represent what we want you to experience when you come here. We want you to create, we want you to learn, we want you to shop, of course, so you support our artists that way, and then also provide support to our facilities by just being here. Because let's think about it. You come off the ferry, you're going to Bima, you see wonderful art, but you're still on the island, right? You get thirsty, you could go to Fletcher Bay. You're hungry, you can go and eat something at the taco shop or get some ice cream. The creativity that may have sprung your visit to Bainbridge Island lends itself to economic development. That's why the two work so well together. Next slide. So the Creative District map. The designation is it must be walkable. That's what it is designed to do. You must be able to get off the ferry or come out of your car and walk the district. So as you can see, if we go from the ferry side, you are coming out and you're walking and you see you've got your Bima, your Kirimu, you've got some of the galleries, you have public art around you as well. And it goes all the way up to Bainbridge Cinemas and all the way down to docks, because we also have public art there as well. And of course, we haven't, put all the restaurants and businesses that are also part of the Creative District, but they go hand in hand. But one thing we are aware of, and we were so passionate about, was that the entire island is a creative district, but the designation only allows you to make it a certain area. So what we have is what we call the glow. The glow includes places that are not walkable, but are accessible. So you could use Kitsap Transit, you could use Tour Bainbridge, you could use the bike barn to get there. And these are barn, Blodell, large art studios, our wineries, Rolling Bay Hall. the Bijak Memorial. So they may not necessarily be in the creative district, but they are part of our creative district. And in our marketing and our messaging, we make sure that people are aware that it's not just downtown Winslow. There are many pockets of creativity. Linwood, I mean, the Linwood Cinema is on the South End, but it's part of the GLOW, it's part of our creative district. So it's one thing that when anyone says, but that's just so limiting.
So that that limitation is placed on us by the certifying organization,
yes,
which is Arts Washington. Is that right?
Next slide. I'm
gonna
answer your questions. I thought it through. Thank you, Reed. So before I answer that one, I've been talking a lot about this creative economy, you know, the bridge between arts and business and what that really means. Just look at these numbers. These were captured 2 years ago. So really during COVID or pre-COVID and getting into the heart of COVID. But the creative economy is a $43 billion industry in Washington state. And some of the people that you wouldn't even think of as creatives include software developers, teachers, photographers, web developers, musicians, singers, fine artists, and marketing managers. And this sector is, look, the creative economy makes up to 8% of Washington's GDP. It employs more than agriculture, forest products, and life sciences combined. This is a huge part of the engine that drives our state and therefore our own island, which I will get to as we go forward. Okay, so yes, that is the right slide, thank you. So how does it work? Okay, so I've mentioned this designation. So this is how it worked. AHB had this vision for about 5 years to actually have this designation. And Edmonds was the first designated creative district. The concept comes from Colorado, where they needed to revitalize certain communities. And they realized that when they infused creativity into a community, it lifted all boats. So Washington Arts Commission thought, gee, this would be great for our state. So we applied for and received this designation as a creative district. We are the 10th creative district out of 11 in the state. And what this designation means is that Washington Arts Commission provides direct support for arts, artists, and art facilities. And they do this by paying the administrative costs to run the creative district and also providing capital funding. And so our first project as a creative district has been the Ravine stage, pictured on the bottom picture on the left. And that was a very rainy day, the day of our launch, but we managed. But that stage had part funding through the creative district. And the idea being that it supports a music facility that then employs musicians. But when you get there, you don't just hear music. You can get a taco, you can get ice cream at Emma and Otto's, you can have a margarita and keep going. You can buy arts and crafts at Island Life, and the rest, as you keep going down Winslow, you know what's there. But the other wonderful thing is that the capital project will also allow us to have wayfinding signage that we're working on that will really showcase that we are a creative district. And it also boosts the creative economy of Bainbridge Island by attracting cultural tourism. And for us residents, it makes it a great place to live, work, and visit. I mean, it makes it vibrant, vital, and just you have so much option, really. On a day, if you look at our the current calendar, we just can't keep up with the many wonderful things that people are doing on the island. So this is money designated to make sure that this vitality continues. So how does it benefit us and who runs it? So one of the statistics that I found pretty interesting was the BCF State of the Community report that came out, I think, end of last year. One of the things that they said was that 87% of our Bainbridge Island respondents said we have a vibrant downtown. And I thought that was really significant. There's an acknowledgement of what it is that makes our community a very special place. And personal wealth of Bainbridge Island is 19 B of the whole kids. My 19 billion of the wealth is on Bainbridge Island, part of, if you look at Kitsap County. So that is a very significant a body of people who are engaged in their downtown, meaning the creativity that fuels what we do here, and have significant resources to support that. So with that understanding, the Creative District, obviously we talked about vitality, but this designation allows us to promote our creative identity, grow jobs in the creative sector, and of course, increases visitors to Bainbridge Island and attracts artists and creative businesses. It boosts vitality, and one of our long-term goals is to have affordable housing, but also maker spaces for artists that can give artists an opportunity to really thrive on Bainbridge Island. And that's one of our long-term planning goals when we apply for this designation. And of course, redevelop our historic assets. And to do this, Arts and Humanities Bainbridge leads the Creative District, but we don't do it alone. I am co-chair of the Bainbridge Creative District Executive Committee with the Chamber. So arts, I represent the arts, the Chamber represents business. So we're bridging we're bridging that creative economy that way. And so co-chair is the Chamber, but our direct partners who are part of the executive committee include Visit Bainbridge, the Downtown Association, the Destination Bainbridge, which includes the Lodging Association, the Multicultural Advisory Committee, BEMA, BIJAC, and we supported by BCF grant funding, the City of Bainbridge Island LTEC funding, and of course, ArtsWA as well, which is Washington Arts Commission. So all these people have come together to make this a vibrant and vital place to live, work, and visit. So it's a great collaboration. And if you look at the picture on the left, we went to the Port Townsend Creative District and got a sense of what they are up to and how theirs works. And they have the same issue that we have, which is all of Port Townsend is a creative district. And so again, they were not allowed to be, designate the whole place a creative district. So their downtown is the official creative district, but they have different zones. And they have these great markers that allow you to realize, oh, this is this district area, this is that district area. But because of COVID, they really hadn't launched. And I was speaking to Rob Burnham, the one on the far left, second to the left. He runs Centrum, and he was happy to announce that they have their jazz festival this week. So they're back, and it's nice to support each other that way. So we're collaborating with other creative districts so we don't duplicate efforts and we can support each other. So why do we do this? Why do we lead this? As an organization, we are the Center of Arts and Cultural Activity on Bainbridge Island, the hub, cultural hub, we call it. So we are here to support and promote artistic venues to make our community vibrant. And we also foster diversity and inclusion because we know the connection that arts brings to the table. You just get different voices and the experience you get from arts and creativity. And of course, we realize that this invariably promotes mental health. I spoke to someone, I was giving, calls, just saying hi to people last year. And I spoke to one individual who said, she doesn't want to come out and experience stuff, but the fact that she realizes that other people are doing so much on the island just makes her feel connected. So she's not maybe going to go to a venue or an event, but this idea that this vitality was really helpful to her as she lived alone and was just dealing with her own struggles. And part of what we're doing as well is we are launching a poet laureate. So if you know any poets, please visit our website and make sure that they submit their application. And that's also part of the Creative District. As an organization, we've got Currents, the online place where you can get everything that you need to know about our events, everything you need to know about artists and public arts, individual artist grants, but we also have the Creative District, which is now the physical manifestation of arts and art vibrancy on Bainbridge Island. So it's all nice theory, right? I'm giving you this lovely presentation. You're like, that's nice, Inez, but I still don't get it. I want to see this thing. I want to feel it. I want to experience it. We've answered your call or your question already. So September 10th, we are having an event, Waterfront Park, which is we're calling it the Experience the Bainbridge Creative District. And what it is, it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's going not to be your typical arts and crafts booths, but it's going to be a creative exhibition, if we want to call it that. I've been talking to some amazing partners who just want to bring something that's unique and special to Bainbridge Island. I don't want to give any spoiler alerts, but it's going to be fantastic. And I have to speak to Reed because we want to occupy the space in front of you, in front of the senior center. But the idea that we'll have a beer garden, we'll have live music, we're going to have beat poets, dancers, the whole creative landscape of Bainbridge Island showcased on September 10th.
Wow, sounds amazing.
I'm excited too, Reed. I think you have another slide. I think it's just questions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we are done. So I am happy to answer any questions that you may have, any insights, any thoughts.
So you mentioned a little bit about the Creative District being something that was set up. We're the 10th of 11 in the state. I'm sure there are more communities that are being invited to do this. And it sounds like Bainbridge and Port Townsend, there are many areas where there's sort of a physical focus of the arts community, which is the Creative District, that is, of course, supported by the wider community around it. Yeah. And yeah, I think that it is helpful to get a sense of how many places there are in Washington that are like that. I was looking on the website and I saw that Tenino is on the list, and Langley up on Whidbey Island, and a lot of places.
Yeah, and I think Bremerton is now applying to be a creative district as well. The thing that people don't realize is it's not automatic. You know, there are lots of checks and balances, and we went through the hoops because I think because we're Bainbridge, they thought, oh well, the bar was set even higher for us, so we had to meet the threshold. So it took a lot to.
So that's in terms of what, cataloging the kinds of things that you're doing, or the way that you would support this, or
all of that, Reed, all of that. What you bring to the table, what kind of diversity and inclusion you want to bring, what kind of educational and cultural engagement you want to bring, the level of engagement you want with visitors and your locals. So it was exhaustive, which is why we had basically teams of our collaborators working on this question, that question, that question, to make sure we covered all our bases. But the threshold was high. It wasn't a slam dunk. I will tell you that. Well,
and I think it's interesting. You mentioned the ravine stage, the idea of having venues or facilities available. So that's probably going to be an ongoing effort with the group too.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's something, when we say we support arts facilities, that's what we mean. Because if we can help support something like a stage, we know that we are supporting, musicians, actors, poets. The scope is just wide in terms of what we can attract and make sure we do to keep our community vibrant. So it's fun.
So if I'm somebody who is involved in the arts and am trying to think about a way that my community, my people that I work with could plug into the community district and sort of leverage your strength, would I just give you a call?
Yes, please. We are looking for, so I mentioned the executive committee with all our partners, but we also have a steering committee And the steering committee, we have lots of artists who are coming in and providing their expertise. So we have a larger body that's divided into different committees, if you want to call it. We have marketing communications, we have liaison, we have events, we have cultural and educational engagement. And so we are making sure that if you're interested in any of those areas, if you go to bainbridgecurrents.com/creative district, Bainbridge Creative District, we have all that information so that you can plug in and engage. It's a community effort. You know, we may be leading in, we may have partners, but we need everybody just supporting and engaging.
Comment or question?
What is the, oh, sorry.
I think Rita has a hand up.
Oh, I didn't put my hand up.
Boy, oh boy, we're going to have to keep track of this
anyway.
organization here. Okay, Rita, you first, then Maria. Oops, I just muted you. Wasn't that unnice? Rita, you need to unmute again.
Okay. I was just going to say, as you're doing this, I was thinking it would be cool for a way to get the senior center, community center, as part of this, as be a destination. I mean, we do photo array, there's other stuff we do, but it seems like the community center, the senior community center might be.
You are part of the district, by the way.
Yeah. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
But
we're in the district. We just now we need to get something to put ourselves on the map, right?
We'll put you on the map. So that's a good, thank you for that feedback. We should have put the senior center, because part of the thing that we're very passionate about is intergenerational connectivity.
Right.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Thank you for that note. We have to add the senior center.
Okay.
All right. Because I know
Okay, Maria, you're up.
Awesome things. Go ahead, Maria.
I wondered what the connection is with the barn. Is the barn represented? Is there going to be some kind of a connection there?
Absolutely. So we just had a meeting on Wednesday. So this September 10 event is a precursor to what we are calling Bainbridge Arts Expo in 2023. And that's going to be a week-long event that truly showcases our creativity. And why we are kind of coming together is a lot of organizations are having their anniversaries. BIMA's having their 10th anniversary, Barn has an anniversary, BAC celebrating 75 years. I don't know if you knew that. We didn't. 75 years on the island, and so many others. So we are coming together, all these organizations, including Barn, are coming together to make a week-long festival. And of course, the BPA will be open by then, to really showcase what we do. And some of what Barn mentioned was they have the maker, is it called maker, do-it-yourself type, you learn a skill, and then you actually go in and create something, and you can leave that class having done something. So they're gonna have a series of those for this Arts Week. We'll have a small snippet of it on September 10, but that whole week, Barn is gonna be just creating and getting people in to make things and really recognize what the resource that Barn is. Below Dell too, they're having their creative residency anniversary. So they are bringing creative residents to Bainbridge Island, which has never happened before, just to have workshops and showcase what that program is about. And they will be collaborating with our partners downtown so that they have a presence here, instead of having people all go to Blodell. And of course, they'll have a presence on Blodell as well, but it's very, very exciting. And BCF is, I'm gonna give them a shout out. They are our main supporters and sponsors for Arts Expo. Go ahead, Rita.
September 10th is also the quilt show downtown on Bainbridge.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm going to give another plug. Part of what makes this really magical is no organization is doing this alone. We are collaborating with each other. And that's how Arts and Humanities Bainbridge, the role we play on this island is to be this hub, the center. So we can pull all our partners together to do something like this. So we recognized that the quilt festival is happening on the 10th. And we thought, why not go in with them? And it makes sense because people are coming to the island for a creative endeavor. So we'll have the quilt festival, and then you can go to Waterfront Park and see what the senior center is doing. Kitty Me will be there, Scrappy Lot will be there. Other just really fantastic creatives. And we'll all be focused on this one big Experience Creative District day, which is September 10th. And then we'll have a week next year.
So what about the artist studio tours that are in the summer and then again in the winter? Is that part of?
We haven't directly collaborated with Dinah, and that's something that, you know, as we are, because we only formed our executive committee in February. So as we are developing and seeing what makes the most sense, some of these collaborations will come together, but we haven't directly spoken, but they're obviously part of what we do because they are a creative endeavor.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if that was under your guys' umbrella or not. So I was just curious about that.
No, it's a good question. I'm putting it on my list to talk about and figure out. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
One of the things as well that I really want to underscore is the arts advocacy element of what the Creative District is about. We want to make sure our artists are paid. We want to make sure that the professionalism that they bring to the table is recognized. So we are collaborating with someone like Andrew Jocelyn, who is a Grammys trustee who lives on the island, and looking at ways to have systems in place that can protect and support our artists and make sure that they get paid as they should, and they get the resources and support as they should. And so we're having, on top of just what I talked about, these creative circles. So let's say literature or obviously music or whatever discipline it is. If you're a young creative and thinking, how am I going to crack this field? I want to do X, Y, and Z. We want to be able to bring mentors that can help you who've successfully achieved whatever they've achieved in their field. This is a roadmap that I took. This is a way in which you could maybe enter this field. These are the resources you need. Oh, you want to have a music show? Here's a sound guy. Here's the stage guy. Here's, you know, the engineers and everything you need all in one spot. So we're not bumping around trying to figure it out, but it's centralized and localized, and we can all support each other in what we want to do. Any other comments or questions?
Well, I think that's a wonderful overview, and you've given us a whole lot to think about and opportunities to learn where to go for more information. I put a link in the information on the chat or down in the YouTube description box so that you can get to that page on Bainbridge Currents that will give you more information about what's going on.
And that page will eventually be a subsite. So we will build it out to be a mini website of its own with more. So that's just the start.
Well, obviously a lot of work to get here, but it's a lot of work ahead, and it sounds like it's going to be great for our community.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Inez.
Thank you so much. We thank you for the opportunity, and have a great weekend, everybody.